Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests includes investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hey everybody, what's going on? I know you have a show to watch, so let me get real quick into this with you. Okay, so Ascended Masters you're watching right now, browse, select, ascend. It's very easy to use. All you have to do is scroll down here. You're going to see the different categories, sessions, courses, products, entertainment, books, conscious business growth. All you do is you simply click on the category that's resonating with you or that you're in need of, and you're going to see a video directory of some of the greatest minds out there. And within 5 to 7 minutes, you'll find out who that person is, what their style is, and if they're going to help you on your journey called life. It's a very easy formula to follow right here. And also too, if you're one of those who does have a product or service that you think that will be a benefit to others and you'd like to be on Ascended Masters, our email is in the description below. It's askspirituallyraw@gmail.com. We'll set up a time to chat and see how you can make a difference in the world for people. So hope you're enjoying the site, everybody. Thanks for sharing this, and much love to you. And most importantly, enjoy the show. We'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. And as always, thank you so much for your energy exchange with us today. We hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are also having the most fortunate day today. Mr. Robert Potter is here. Look at that image behind him.
Very powerful.
Or is it next to him?
Yeah,
you have to figure that out yourself, right? This is a really cool cat. We've had
my ears right now.
We've had get to spend a few minutes with Robert before the show started. You're absolutely going to fall in love with him, and he's got some really cool stuff that I believe you probably have never seen before, which we are excited to be able to help have him share with us too. So I want to thank you all for staying connected with us. As always, our links are in the description below, and you can also watch this uncensored at spirituallyraw.live, and also for all of you watch on TV, you can check us out on Roku. So just Spiritually Raw on that. So am I missing anything?
Yes. If you're watching this from YouTube, please take a quick second, hit the like button. And we surely would appreciate all three of us if you share the video. Much love to each and every one of you. So let's get started because I have pages of questions and we have so much to talk about. So without further ado, Robert Potter, he is, okay, check this out. He has been face to face with physical contactee of Palladians and the Venetians, with a pedigree of meeting over 15 of the representatives over a course of 47 years. There's so much to get to. I mean, I could read this long bio, but we'll be here all day. You want to check out his bio and everything that we're going to be talking about. Make sure to check out his website, www.thepromiserevealed.net. All the links are going to be in the description. And also, you're going to be a speaker at the Sedona Ascension retreat, which is Susan Ross's retreat on March 18th to the 21st. So if you want to check them out and you want to get some tickets, make sure to, the links will be in the description, SedonaAscensionRetreats.com/tickets, and make sure to use the 10% off discount code SpirituallyRaw10. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here today. First time meeting you, but are you coming to the conference?
Oh, we'd love to, but I don't think we're going to be able to make it this year, unfortunately. We have 3 dogs.
Where are you located?
Florida.
In Florida.
Okay. Maybe come out to Shasta to my event.
Oh, when is that?
I want to go to Shasta.
Yeah, now that's, hold on a minute.
I want to go there.
With your permission, I'll share a screen real quick.
Yeah,
please do. Let's go out with let's go start off with a bang.
So yeah, let's go ahead and start off. I'll share my my website there, and there is the Mount Shasta Summer Conference right there. And if you click this conference banner, it's gonna take you to. I'm gonna just take you to this page here. You're gonna go to the conferencing. It tells everything. We got Alex Collier, Laura Eisenhower, Vivian Chavez, Suzanne, Frank Chili, a friend of mine, contacted me for many years, Maureen St. Germain, many. All the information is right here.
Right.
We got early bird tickets for a while. Everything you need, where to stay, all the speakers' biographies. If you want to be a vendor, if you want to come for free, folks, you can actually be, a door.
Are you Robert? Are you hosting this event, or are you putting this together?
This is my 8th annual conference.
It's your 8th annual conference. God bless you, brother. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's very, very cool.
8th or 9th, I forget which now.
That's awesome. We'll have links in the description below, everybody, so you can get connected there too on whichever event you want to go to.
Now you live in Mount Shasta, correct?
I do.
And,
I was kind of a Laguna Beach boy down at in Orange County there for most of my life. I found out I was a mountain man as well as a beach boy.
which one you like better?
I have to say the warmth year round, but Shasta in the summertime, it is really a summer playland here. We've got a natural glacial lake, other lakes. The mountain is beautiful for hiking. I love the smell of pine trees. We got bike trails, kayaking, rivers, fishing. There's a lot of one of my speakers, Lowell Johnson, actually a couple of years ago went in the mountain in, I think it was June. I contacted him to try and come to my conference. He couldn't make it that year, but he came last year and he's coming this year. He was sitting on the mountain, just a transcendental meditator, and went up to a certain location. He was guided, obviously, to the spot. And I actually kind of felt that. I saw this ridge. I go, that ridge, I bet you there's an air vent up there. It's kind of like James Gilden's ranch, but it's not quite as inaccessible. But you couldn't really access it. It's like, who would climb up there? But
right.
You can't see down. I think there might be an air vent there, but they have right along the edge of that area right there, where I kind of just thought there might be something. This is where he was sitting, and he's just a Chiam meditator, not a New Age, not a UFO, not a fifth dimensional guy. And all of a sudden his ear pods went out. And he looked at him, he felt a breeze behind him. He stood up and turned around, and where there was a mountain with rocks and trees, there now was an entrance, and there was a shadowed figure in there that said, "Would you like to enter Telos?" And he went in. So his story is pretty amazing.
No way.
Yeah, if you want, I'd love for you to interview him and talk about the conference.
That is right up our alley. Love to do that. Thank you.
That's so cool. That is. So are you, is it just a cliche, or is Shasta really that magical place? You know what I mean? That everybody talks about. I mean, do you find it from your worldly experiences that there is definitely something that's tapped and tuned in right there with you?
Yeah, there are natural vortexes around the planet. This is kind of one of the super uber vortexes, like Lake Titicaca, which is the focal point of the divine feminine, which the Earth was previously, the focus was in the Himalayas beneath, near the Gobi Desert there. Mm-hmm. And that was a masculine vortex. There's, in the ancient history of our multidimensional nature and the understanding of the hierarchy of light and the lost lineages of truth and light that are reemerging now, is part of my mission, is to share this knowledge with people. Is Shambhala the greater, which is hovering, it's kind of like a floating city in the higher dimensions above the Gobi Desert, where there once was a city that was a result of a nuclear explosion from some negative forces that destroyed the planet. And then there was Shambhala the Lesser, which was beneath. And the focal point of the planet changed in 2015. The vortex was shifted 2012, and then it was cemented in 2015. The divine feminine vortex was moved to Lake Titicaca in the minor, where there's a technology, an interdimensional kind of hierarchical technology called the golden disk of the sun. This is a monitoring device for all life streams and allows the universal administration to monitor the planet. It was misused and caused the problems in Atlantis, and now it's back in the hands of what we call the Great White Brotherhood, of the Shining Ones, or the Watchers they wear white, and they are higher dimensional beings. And I have another friend in South America, Luis Martens. He doesn't speak much English, but he's been inside 3 of their inner retreats, and I've taken tours down there to various locations. So we're seeing now a unique opening of the understanding of life within the earth, of the other beings that live within the earth, the breakaway civilizations, as well as the higher dimensional beings. And in some of these areas, some of them have been bought here under duress and placed under control of some demons. The dark force has been cast down into the earth. Literally, it's in the Bible, and I could cite references on that. But you know, I like to talk about the positive stuff too. I'm an expert in the bad stuff, and you can go over my website. And I'll take you down.
All you need to know there, right?
Take us down the path. The beings that you were talking about, are they the beings? Because I've heard that in Shambhala, that every now and again the Shambhala beings surface, or they have been seen. Are they the ones that you're referring to?
Yeah, they come in. The Venusians answered the question for me when I asked about them, because there's a girl that came forth from there. Her name was Sharula years ago, and she met another friend of mine when she first came out. She talked to him and a guy named Bill Hamilton, a UFO researcher, and she said she came from the inner earth of Mount Shasta. Her mother married the regent of Mount Shasta. He's kind of famous. His name is Adama, and their child, her name was Bonnie. Her real name was Sharula, and she said that she had kind of broken one of the rules, and they said she had to go to the surface. So she was taken on the maglev trains they have around, and she was shown various places on the earth to prepare her. And they have little areas where people from the surface are invited in, either for a short period of time. And she said actually there's a real valley in Brazil that they do have prehistoric animals around the surface. And she described their city and their life there, and they have a pyramid temple. I'm an expert in pyramids, and I have a lot of pyramid products as well. And pyramids create life force, pyramid, fire in the middle. And so she said that they have a pyramid that's called the Living Stone. So when I queried Lowell, and he seemed genuine, but that's why I have real physical contactees. Channeling is one thing, but face-to-face contact is another. And even us who have had face-to-face contact have our own filters and apperceptions. So to find the truth, but the Venusians, to get to the point here, and you can ask me some more questions, but I said, what's the story with the Telosians there? They said Telos is an ancient Venusian colony from Lemuria that transferred, and this goes in line with what Sharula said many years ago. She's gone out of the public eye and doesn't do any public appearances. She obviously was ridiculed and attacked, much like my friend who came from the fifth dimension of Venus, Omnek, who's kind of retired now. But
is that the guy on your website?
No, Omnek is, she's written a series of books available on my website called From Venus I Came. She came out to my friend Alex Collier and spoke at a conference in Nevada years ago. And then she wrote Angels Don't Cry, about her story of her life on Earth. And then she wrote My Message. And it's a quite moving story of how she came here. So to go back real quick, they said it's a Venusian colony that was from Lemuria, but it's cloaked in the fifth dimension. So you can't get there. No one's going to get there. The government can't go there. So unless you're invited, so people want to, another one of my speakers, Brooks Agnew, says, I'm going to go to the inner earth on the expedition. You can't go there.
So when you say,
I'll take a ticket there.
When you say, unless you're invited, what does that invitation process even look like? Is it a visitation of sorts? And
it's a vibrational. It's usually a past life thing and a soul purpose. If it has something to do, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to reveal it to the public. But for those people, a lot of people have contacts, but they don't want to go to the public. Especially the Venusians are contacting many, many people. There's 5,000 or 6,000 of them at any one time living on the surface, as well as an entire contingent.
Living on the surface as meaning here right now, like the same way we're living on the surface.
Walking and living amongst us, and even having families.
Oh shit.
How can, what do the Venetians look like? Do they have a certain look to them? How would someone be able to detect that was a Venetian?
I'll share you a picture of one. I think I have one.
Oh, great.
Here it is. Okay. So That's me and Vice Commander.
I'm sorry, that's what I was talking about.
So
I
yeah,
saw her on your website.
So
Yes.
this young lady's a Venusian, right?
Right.
Here's a 6-dimensional moon-based commander, and she's been serving the Earth for 300 years. So she was working, and I've been in conversations with her. This was a recording that was arranged in Las Vegas, in West Virginia, and they wear red berets. So Prince had a contact. She wore a raspberry beret.
Oh.
And if it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. So the Venusians are a fourth dimensional society. They're very advanced spiritually. They're the planet of love. They're one of the highest spiritual planets in the entire solar system. We are on the very edge of the radial arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Now, they have what's called a B. She has a B pin, which I gave her this particular B pin. They have a solid gold B pin that they normally wear. She was wearing a red sash, and she had black pants. And she actually was another woman in the 50s at Giant Rock. She was appearing as a science fiction writer named Evelyn Smith, who had written many books called The Venus Trap, and she revealed a lot of things about life in other dimensions. And so this girl comes to Earth. I can't talk too much about that, but she does come to Earth and has an Earth persona. And obviously, as a 6-dimensional being, she can dematerialize at will. No one's ever going to harm her or hassle her, may interfere with her Earth-based life. A few people have mentioned it or seen them.
The 5,000 plus Venusians that are here, that even some of them having families, thanks for sharing that, Robert, that some of them even having families, as you mentioned there. What is their reasoning for being here? Are they set on a mission, and do all 5,000 or how many ever thousands, do they know they are Venetians that they're here, or that they kind of?
Oh, yeah, they're here.
So they know that they're here.
I'm a Venusian. I mean, I don't normally mention that because we're all Earth people, but they,
right.
I'm definitely, I've had many lifetimes here in service to came over from Venusia, Etheria, as they call it. We're in the 3rd dimension. Our planet is rising into the 4th dimension, which is time. And as we achieve that, we'll have technology that will allow us to literally have classes in the Akashic records. So the reason they're here is one of the primary reasons, of course, was the advent of nuclear power and the possibility of destruction of this planet and other planets and interfering with the natural order of the universe. They love us very much. Many of them have come from here. In fact, they're the next round for when you ascend, generally speaking. If you're from this system, depending on your soul path, you will go to Venus, generally. Now, not everyone does.
The beautiful Venetian that you were just standing with, how did you meet her? And do you recognize one another when you see each other?
I did not recognize her. I had seen her picture in the 50s, and I can pull that up. And the way I met her was through my friend, Dr. Raymond Keller, who Frank Chili introduced me to. So Frank Chili introduced me to Raymond, and I had all these amazing talks with her. So I'm going to...
I love this, everybody. Show and tell. This is pretty cool.
So I'm going to show a couple of pictures here. I'm going to show you some pictures of her in the 50s at the Giant Rock conventions.
I'm wondering if she ages.
She does not. Now, they do have the ability to create avatars, so they look slightly different. Mm-hmm. And I'll pull up the other one so I can show you.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm going to show you a couple other pictures of some Venusians here as well.
And how old do you think that this particular Venusian is?
I'm not sure exactly how old she is, but she told me she's been serving the Earth for at least 300 years. So
that's what I thought you said.
Wow.
So the Venusian. So she's met Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson. She worked in. She was a secretary to Jean Sylvian Bailey during the French Revolution. He was a great astronomer. She talked to Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson would be in his room. He would come in, it would be locked, and she'd be sitting there with papers. And she said the intellectual Virginian suspected I may be from another realm. And all this is in my book called My Friends from Venus. I'm writing a longer version. It's a very short book, but it contains some recorded messages of them. They speak much about Christ. A lot of people get triggered by that. And I'm not saying that there's not a reason to, have problems with the church, the secular, the dogma. But when we're talking about the ascended master, the greatest metaphysician on the physical plane ever in the entire galaxy, I think we have to recognize the spiritual truth. He's actually came from Venus. So I'm going to share with you some other pictures. I guess I should show. Okay, so let me, I'll show you.
Jesus is a Venetian as well.
Right, so I'm going to show you here. Here's a picture of her. And I kind of zoomed in on her. She's sitting at Giant Rock. And to her left is a guy named Long John Nebel, the Art Bell of the day. And another guy named Frank Scully, who was the real X-File guy. So she became Queen of Venus. Here she is wearing a slim bodysuit, kind of rare for that day. She got the Queen of Venus. You notice the nose and the lips.
Yeah, yes.
So now I'm going to, and her teeth are different. So I was looking at her going, oh, I don't know, I was kind of making a little doubtful thing. And so here is what sealed it for me, because I was, I'm suspect. I didn't think Raymond's, there's not a dishonest bone in his body, and we have many videos. So what sealed it for me were, here she is. She walked up to this. There was a lawyer who was taking a picture of her for this woman who's a contactee, and the table said my flight to Venus. This woman actually was taken and went to Venus, as was Lobsang Rampa and many other things. And they have a great connection to Tibetan that we can talk about that. So here she is looking and smiling. And after this picture was taken, I imagine she came over and she says, I'm from Venus. And so the photographer, look at her legs, these stocky legs. So when I looked at her, this is what sealed it for me to believe that she really was, because her teeth are different. She had stocky legs. Look at those things. Now, her hair is dyed. They have, her hands are extremely soft, and Venusians don't have fingerprints.
Does she say she's that person when she looks at the picture? She's like, does she say that's me?
Oh, yeah. No, Dr. Raymond Keller met her in 1954 because he went back in time. So there's so much to explore and discover on my website, especially if you go into the book section. Raymond Keller has written now. I'm going to be getting his seventh book is on its way to me now. He's written 7 books since 2015. So he was taken to Venus in 2012, and he got there by another friend of mine who lived in Yucca Valley, a famous contactee who ran for president. So there's a lineage of people that I and Raymond stand on, of contactees who've been having
Robert,
contact.
What do you think? There's a lot to cover with you. I want to get to kind of your backstory in a second, but I do want to ask you this while we're on topic. How come we don't really hear a lot about the Venusians? How come it's like the Pleiadians? We hear a lot about the Pleiadians. We hear about the Pleiadians. We hear about the Pleiadians. We don't really hear about the Venusians.
Well, the Venusians actually have been known throughout history. And I asked them, why is it hidden? They said, well, we're not really hiding. The governments, know all about us. They the first one to contact. That's who Eisenhower met on the tarmac at Edwards. There's a group of Pleiadians, and I'm not even sure if they're Pleiadians, but there are other contactees who are talking. And I just want to say that I think most of the people getting messages and having comments are very real, but there's apperceptions of their religious beliefs, their personal upbringing. And as a 47-year pedigreed contactee of face-to-face meeting both Pleiadians on multiple occasions and Venusians, I know not to hold judgment. And what I think I know, as Semyasi told me, she goes, Rob, you think you know something, and then you realize you know nothing at all. Because properly speaking, the intellect it's like steps on an endless ladder. What really matters is the wisdom and the love heart. The Venusians are here primarily to give us hope, to show us the promise, the truth of the power of love, and the redemption of the planet, and the understanding of the really how far off the mark we've gone. They don't want to emphasize that. We are to understand the spiritual truths and to treat each other as Christ taught us, pretty much, that we live under a creator. And through this living presence of God, and the creator is beyond definition, but basically it's isness. The creator is, was, and always will be. And then in the material, temporal realms of material, in all other dimensions that eventually will pass away, there is these various beings and creators, creator gods, so to speak. So we have the God, which is beyond all name and form, and yet exists within all name and form, is transcendent to that, ineffable, unknowable, undescribable. So any word that you describe it limits it by your intellectual, materialistic, dualistic mind. So we have a lot to understand in terms of knowing who we are as spiritually conscious beings in the biofield, in a meat suit, so to speak, that is going to pass away. And what Christ taught is that we have a father, that would be Archangel Michael, the creator of this universe. And the father, we are his children. And as such, we should treat each other as family and with respect. We must honor all life, and we must look at each person as our brother or sister and guard them like the pupil of our eye. And if we do unto others as we would have done unto us, it's that simple. But we've been misled by the adversary.
It's all these contactee experiences you've had, and the it sounds like you're pretty excited about it and feel pretty blessed to have had them. So did this stem after your plant life experience, you know, the mushrooms, the LSD? Did this come afterwards, or did you have these experiences before you were tapping that side of your brain?
Well, at an early age, I grew up in Laguna Beach. Timothy Leary lived in town. So I was riding my little banana bike with the little wheels up there like that, down in Laguna Canyon, and I, there was Timothy Leary, and he goes, "Hey, come on over."
Place to grow up.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had Hare Krishnas, and the Beatles were hanging out, and the Rolling Stones, and it was a real kind of hippie town. So we had a Hare Krishnas, Rajanishis, and Love Animals Don't Eat Them there. So we had it was a hippie spiritual center. I was riding my bike, and I met Prabhupada of the Hare Krishnas, and so it had a unique, beautiful, beachy, the halcyon days of the 60s is really when I grew up. And so the LSD experience stemmed from my interest in Carlos Castaneda and power plants. And so I was discovering the luminous self and the nature of will and consciousness, and understanding myself on a multidimensional level. And the psychedelic or psychotropic substances, they work with the pineal gland, which open up the receptors in neuroserotonin in the pineal gland that causes you to experience and to go beyond the limitations of the dualistic, what's called the rational mind, or Carlos Castaneda calls the tonal. And by suppressing and balancing the tonal and shrinking the tonal, you can go into what's called the knock wall, which is it's a whole other discussion. But I met Dr. Fred Bell when I was just turning 17 in 1970. 73. I turned 17. So, and then 74, 17, 70. So 73, I met Dr. Fred Bell. I was at school, and I was talking about pyramids, and this girl goes, I was trying psychic experiments and stuff, and this girl goes, "Pyramids? I know the Pyramid Man." I go, "The Pyramid Man? Really?" She was right up by me. So I went up there, I knocked on the door, and this girl named, her name was Louise, but we called her Bunny, was there. And she said, "Well, he's not here, come on in." So I went in, and she said, "You have to take your shoes off." And he had this very beautiful art. He was a painter. He was a musician. He wrote books. And on top of that, his great uncle invented the telephone. His name was Alexander Graham Bell, and Dr. Fred Bell's father, Alan Bell, worked with Henry Ford and invented himself the automatic transmission and the alternator for Henry Ford. What? So Fred grew up on the lap of Henry Ford, Bob Johnson of Johnson Motors, and Bob McCulloch of McCulloch Motors. And his father, they were all working with Henry Ford and working with engines. Now, Fred described running through the hemp fields when he was a little kid, you know? So Henry Ford made a car entirely out of hemp and could go on fuel oil, but the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, they didn't want that. So the Rockefellers basically made hemp illegal and called it a demon weed. And so that we couldn't have renewable, less polluting resource, because hemp oil is the cleanest burning fuel oil. So from there, at the age of 15, he was studying the shockwave of the atomic bomb at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor under Dr. Katz. And then at the age of 17, soon as on 17th birthday, the military came in, gave him a conscription and said, in 1 week, you're moving to Santa Barbara. You're coming into the Air Force. So Fred went into the Air Force at the age of 17 and got a PhD in physics before he was 18. Wow. Working on government projects, including the #1 radar, early warning radar at Point Reyes, California, north of San Francisco. And he was observing the Venusians primarily coming in off of vector points, they run along there's magnetic highways that they travel on. And they were heading down to the Cuban Missile Crisis. And so he was watching them burn these reports, and he made a stink about it. And they finally set him up and said, did you see a UFO today? And they had straitjackets waiting, and they came in, they put him in a straitjacket. And so he got an honorable discharge, and then he went to work for NASA under Werner von Braun, and pretty much the same thing happened. He was working on the Cape with Gus Grissom and those guys that burned in the fire. And he said, there's shoddy wiring here. And they go, who are you, you snotty-nosed young kid? And he goes, no, this is bad stuff. Something's gonna happen. And he went all the way up and finally got, Werner von Braun and said, no, he goes, you must go to the chain of command to talk to make your things. So I've been all the way to the top. It's up to you, sir. And he goes, well, I must listen to the others. And so he got fired. He filed suit at the ALCU. 3 astronauts died on the Cape, and he got 1.5 years or 2 years of payback. And then they said, "Oh, will you be in charge of everything?" He said, "I ain't working with you." And he went to work for JPL in Rockwell, where he watched the spaceships hover outside the Long Beach giant building there, hangar, and they send in 3 little probes. Some people call them Foo Fighters, little monitoring discs. And they went around, they spiraled around. They went in 2 directions, and they spiraled up around it, and they checked out every day to see what was going on. So we've been under the watchful eye, and the government knows this, and they're desperate to keep it secret, because the government, the corporations, those that are in charge, are actually part of a very negative group called the Black Sun. They're being removed and neutralized.
The Venusians, I want to ask you this. There's a conception of that when you think about Venus, Mars, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Is the Venusian, is that a feminine energy place, dimension, planet? Is that all feminine energy, or is it a mix? And have we just been... Hello, everybody. How are you? Much love to you. It's very good to see you and hang out with you. I hope you're having a fantastic day here. So let me give you some updates about what's going on with Spiritually Raw. So as you can see right here, a new facelift. I hope you like it. Okay, so this is the new facelift, the image of the site. So Watch, Evolve, Ascend. It's very cool, very streamlined. Everything's broken down in very easy catalogs, playlists for you to watch whatever kind of topic you're looking for to help you on your journey called life. So let's check it out together. All right. So literally, here you go. The homepage right here. You can scroll down. If you're already a member, same login and password as you normally do. If you're not, you can click right here, join now, get a 3-day free trial, check out and binge on the whole network as much as you want. I hope you like it, and I'm sure you will, but that's 3 days on us. Okay, so don't forget to check that out if you're not already. Here's some videos that are recent that we just put up there that you'll be able to check here. Now, also too, I want to go back here real quick, catalog. So this is how we've broken it down for you. Super simple and very easy playlist. New releases, intuitive psychic mediums, the Great Awakening, metaphysical, current events, 2020 videos for those of you who want to take a trip down memory lane and see how that all worked out. Prosperity, special report, I mean, so on and so forth. I mean, it goes on and on and on. We have really brought together the best minds out there that are coming in to entertain us, but then to break it down so simple, again, to help us on our journey called life. So this is really cool here. So also, I want to point out here for those of you who have actually said, hey, you know, I do want to have my own show. We also have a master course preview, and that's there to designed to teach all of you who would like to have your own show, or maybe even need some help in being interviewed when you are on other shows too. But let's go down a little further. I want to show you something else. So for all of you out there who have Roku, you simply need to click here and you can now watch us on Roku TV. Coming soon within the coming weeks, within probably a week or so, you'll see us on the iPhone, Apple. We're streaming everywhere. You'll be able to download the app soon on Apple. But as of right now, like I said, you can stream us anywhere there. So, and these are some examples of the topics that you're going to be watching when you do go to spirituallyraw.live. So thank you very, very much for hanging out with us as you always do. Really do hope you are having the most miracle mornings and are having the most fortunate days. And this really is bringing you a lot of value. And again, helping you on your journey called life. So thanks again, and we will see you all next time.
We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called The Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity. We are living in the most unbelievable times. Some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks, and God bless Patriots worldwide.